Was the death of Jesus really necessary? Well, let's first approach this question from the perspective of the Jewish leaders. The Jewish leaders. Well, clearly they felt Jesus should die for his blasphemy of claiming to be God, the Son of God. Pontius Pilate believed that Jesus should die in order to keep the peace with the Jewish leaders and to avoid problems in Rome. So from both of those perspectives, I would say that his death could have been avoided. The Jewish leaders and Pilate had other options. But what about Jesus? Because we just said that he gave himself willingly, regardless of what their intention was. So according to Jesus, it must have been necessary, or else he would have found another way. That's what we would expect. Well, Matthew tells us that in the Garden of Gethsemane, just hours before his death, Jesus went to pray. And Matthew tells us that he prayed the same prayer 3 different times, most likely over a period of hours. And here was his prayer. My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Jesus, apart from Jesus, submitted himself to there is no other way for the sins of humanity to be forgiven and to be made right. If this was the only way to redeem, there is salvation in no one else. Is there another way? No other name God's answer to that prayer under heaven, all of heaven, is the only given way among men, given among humanity, Jesus, by which we must be saved. So we're asking a question that was already answered in the story. And if Jesus' death was necessary, it proves a foundational truth of Christianity, true Christianity. Jesus, the Son of God, would have to die, and only his atoning death had the power to cleanse sin, to forgive sinners, and to reconcile humanity with God. And we can see this truth from Acts chapter 4, verse 12. Jesus and Jesus alone would have to die. Only his blood could cleanse sinners, and only through him can true salvation be found. This is why, friends, this is why it is so incredible that people can say, yes, Jesus is God. I believe that. And then in their next breath say, but not everyone believes that. But as long as they believe something, it's okay. They have their faith, and I have mine. If that were true, then the answer to the question that I'm raising would be no. Jesus' death was not necessary, because there are other ways to God. But the reality is this. Jesus gave himself willingly, which means according to the Son of God, there is no other way.